They had this video that Diddy's defense dropped to show at the sentencing hearing. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Here we go.
What you've given to the world, I don't think you know, man.
When my baby cries.
We gotta give her a bottle then.
Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart.
My nose fell off. Ah! No, then my lip fell off. Thank you. You wear it?
This country and this world we live in may have planned for y'all. I didn't listen to that, and I don't want y'all to listen to it either. And I'm happy to say this is our third school we have opened. This official. When we come together as a people, nothing can stop us.
Hey man, shout out to Diddy's lawyers. I ain't gonna lie to you, them niggas was in their bag, ninja. They was in their bag. They was in their bag behind this shit. They was in their bag. Hey, that one touched home, bro. When we come together, we're unstoppable.
What I want to do with my freedom is, make sure that I can make change. You will change the world.
I've been through hell,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna make it.
you're gonna make it, that's right. And I got something for you. Remember I told you I had a present for you?
Yeah. I ain't that pretty.
This is a heart, because you're my heart.
Oh,
All right?
okay.
You my heart.
I'm guessing that's his grandmother. Hey man, like I said, the ninjas was in a bag. Hey, look, the next best thing, shout out to Code 47. Reach out to Code 47, ask for that pardon, say it'll look good for the black people if you do it. Let's see what he do.
Kim Porter, who shares 3 children with Sean Diddy Combs, has been found dead.
Damn, these ninjas were in their bag. Whoa. This is some major appeal to pathos, people. Major appeal to emotions. Here we go. Woo! They were in their bag.
Now I'm a full-time dad, and I'm gonna be there for you through everything, all of y'all.
Thank you for loving us. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for inspiring.
Woo!
I've looked up to you and admired you outside of you just being my father, just you being just a great human being, a kind human being.
I love how you inspire me to keep going, to never stop following my dreams.
What do y'all think, bruh? Damn. What do y'all think? I'm gonna tell y'all what the comments say. You know the comments, they cold. They ice cold in the comments, bruh. Here we go.
Leaving myself.
See your foot, put in that middle part.
Yeah, I did it.
I wanted to tell you how much I love you, how much I care for you. Thank you for being so supportive.
And damn, his daughters look just like him. That's crazy.
Of me and my siblings' dreams, for always encouraging us to go for whatever we want. We love you. We can't wait to make more memories with you. Just want to thank you for everything you do for us. Yes. And your love more than you think.
I love you.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Love you so much.
Ooh.
Hi, Daddy.
Oh, damn, they went hard, bro. They went hard. They went hard. Yeah, they went hard. All right, so look. So this what the comments say. Listen to this, people. So did he think about other people's daughters when he was abusing them? That's one. Let's see what else. Only way Diddy should be in prison is if Cassie is right there with him. She hired and paid the escorts, not Diddy. Cassie simply got immunity from the feds. Let's see what else. Free this man. If Cassie ain't getting locked up too, free Diddy. You get no sympathy from me in my major pain voice. Oh my God, let Diddy come home. He needs help, but he has done a lot of good in the world. Facts. Excuse me, they forgot to show the full unedited video where he berates his staff and degrades women. What kind of family man does that? Was he being a nice dad or thinking about his kids at all during everything he did? How would he feel if someone beat one of his daughters the way he did Cassie? Facts. That was facts.
You need to leave.
Yep, he was going to put them ninjas in the dirt. Jeffrey Epstein received an 18-month sentence in 2008 for state-level prostitution charges with minors, but he died by offing himself in jail, allegedly in 2019, before facing federal fornication trafficking charges. He was sentenced to 18 months in a county jail, but served only 13 months, with much of that time spent in a work release program. This allowed him to leave jail 6 days a week for 12 hours a day to work at his office. So what the F y'all think Diddy should get all these years for the actual charges he was convicted of? And this is what I keep trying to tell y'all. We live in a society that's biased. Gentlemen, if you look like me, pull up to the front of the club, please, and form a circle. If you look like me, you got to measure twice to cut once, because in the society we live in, shout out to the American society, you are a target, especially when you become a man of means, or you come into some money. And the reason why is because the society we live in wasn't necessarily designed for you to have money. It is what it is. I'm not here to cry about it. Shout out to all the racist people that find their way to my page, Ninja. We call a spade on here, okay? Smoke mirrors truth. Take the proverbial black pill and see for yourself. All right? So, gentlemen, if you look like me, when it comes to your male counterparts of a lighter complexion, they're going to get away with more than you. It doesn't matter how much money you got, because at the end of the day, not all money is good money. And when it comes to your money, not saying that it's not good, but they may not want to take your money, or they'll take your money, but still try and prove their point at the end of the day. Like I said, we got to drop gems, because I've had to realize these things in my own life too. I've seen people try to make me work twice as hard when I demonstrated that I have the propensity and or capacity to do whatever it is more than my peers. I've had certain jobs where they've told me I was overqualified to get the job. Can you imagine? And I'm in my 20s. This is when I'm younger. So imagine I'm like a young kid, you know, just trying to find a way, and people are telling me to my face I'm overqualified to do a job. Right? And I have no experience. And I'm sitting there like, how am I overqualified? That was them politely telling me, we don't like you. We don't want you here. It is what it is. I'm gonna tell y'all some real game. What else? I've had certain situations where I've had people tell me, you know, I might have cracked a joke with somebody. Oh, you're a clown. You clown too much. Oh, you know, we don't need that here. So then y'all see me always putting on this meme mug, very straightforward, because I've been in these situations. So I'm just letting y'all know what it is. It is what it is. And I'm not defending Diddy. I'm just letting y'all know to keep that in mind when you move out here and you mob through these streets. Anyways, let's continue. Yeah, so long story short, like I said, we bringing you back through everything. Answer the poll. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Hit the like button. We have Lauren LaRosa. Before Diddy got sentenced, this is what was said by Lauren.
All right, y'all. So really quick, I just wanted to, we're on my lunch break. I just wanted to give you guys a little update. First of all, let me just say, people were asking, the minute I walked out of court, people were asking me, what's the feeling in there? Like, what's the temperament in the court? The last, I would say, in the beginning of court, so the first few hours, it feels like Diddy about to get the book thrown at him, if I'm being honest with y'all. Like, I think, you know, there's a lot of things to take into consideration here. I think the fact that the judge says, hey, even though he was acquitted of, you know, all those things that relate to that RICO and everything that he didn't get hit with charge-wise, that didn't stick, you can consider that when having a conversation about certain things moving forward, you know, as we're talking about sentencing, because the judge's point was we wouldn't have ended up here at prostitution if it wasn't for certain things that had to do with some of the charges he was acquitted.
And that right there should be enough to get him out, people. Did you hear that right there? That right there should be enough to get him out, because that means the judge was biased against him, right? Technically, or by technicality, right? The judge was biased against him when it comes to charges he was acquitted for.
What the hell?
You can't do that.
Oh
you can't do that.
No way.
You can't do that. And that's why I say justice is not black and white. Justice is gray. And the reason why justice is gray is because when you sit there and look at it, it's at the discretion of your peers. And your peers may or may not be biased unless they expose themselves as such, like, hey, you know, this is how I feel about it when it comes to this particular situation. You'll never know. But if the judge actually came out and said that, technically you were biased, and that's why they have an appeal, and that's why they probably will be filing for an appeal. Because yeah, all them things happened, but at the same time, when you include the domestic violence video and what happened, not like I said, no shade to Cassie. Shout out to Cassie. Hopefully she's doing well. She's raising her baby. You can't include that if that's not the charges that he's being brought up on, regardless of if you've seen the video, didn't see the video. That makes you biased. And that's the whole thing that I was talking about when this case first started. When this case first started, I kept saying, bruh, how is Diddy supposed to get a fair trial when the court of public opinion already found him as guilty because they let out that video? Now, it would have been different if they dropped that video after the case was done, but they dropped it before the case, and then they started the case to try and get him, and he still beat some of the charges. Most of the charges, actually, 67% if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to Lauren Brown self. Here we go.
They talked a lot about the force, the coercion, the fear that they, are saying that Diddy and put into these women, and put into Jane, and put into Cassie, which made them do things that they did not want to do. The judge specifically mentioned Diddy threatening to not pay for Jane's home where her kids stayed. The judge mentioned Diddy texting Cassie and threatening to leak sex tapes. All things that there were hard evidence of, even though those charges did not stick, right? So the minute you hear that, because what they're having a conversation about right now is like it's the guidelines, the sentencing guidelines, and what can you lean on or what is the court going to lean on, and what is the court allowed to lean on?
And like I said, man, shout out to Lauren, Pretty Self. Shout out to Lauren. Yeah, like I said, bro, what it's gonna come down to is the court's gonna make a statement, because the court of public opinion sways the court of law. And if you don't know, look at the current state of affairs in America, right? I mean, I digress from that conversation. But yeah, I mean, I've told y'all guys, if you don't believe me, I'm gonna continue to say this. Women run the world. Women run the world, and I can say this now because it's gonna make sense. Women run the world. We live in a gynocracy, right? I've said this before, and I got heat for this. I said it before everybody started blowing up on social media talking about women and relationship dynamics and shit like that. I wasn't the first one, but I'm saying, like, when it came to my peers, I became aware of what was going on, and it's not a bad thing. Shout out to the ladies. Ladies, if you're in here, put a 1 in the chat, right?
Hello.
It's not a bad thing. The problem is, like I always say, I've said this term just so if, in case y'all ever hear somebody say it like that, you heard it from your boy first. Men are in control men are in shackles by the women that they've dealt with. Because if you've dealt with a woman in a certain kind of way, you got to kind of walk it's a line you draw. You got to walk that line. If you tip over on one side, tip over on the other side, you do some shit you're not supposed to do. Now she has leverage over you. Is that a bad thing? I think it's a double-edged sword. It's not per se a bad thing, but it's not a good thing, because it's like a check and balance system. Like I said, so if you turn around, and I don't do this, I'm just saying, you turn around, you smack a girl, smack her in her shit for talking to you crazy. You just pop.
You need to leave.
Now she has leverage over you. Because now, guess what? Hey, I'm going to tell the police you smacked me. Give me some money. Or, hey, you smacked me. I'm going to go call my family. Now they finna fuck you up. So, you keep these things in mind. So that's why I tell you, gentlemen, and shout out to the ladies too. Because ladies, if you didn't know, shout out to the gay community. Lesbian relationships are some of the most violent relationships. If you never heard that.
What the hell?
I don't make the rules. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, no way.
I don't make the rules. I'm just saying. So women, when it comes to the men who are in power, even the men in power are shackled by the people that they deal with. Because if you deal with somebody in the wrong way and you don't keep it professional, you don't keep it courteous at all times, you can be got. Either you're going to get aimed at for your money. You become a target, like I said. That's what it comes down to. And if you don't move properly, you don't treat everybody with respect and kindness, Ninja, you will get got out here in these streets. So you got to be careful. Here we go.
They're taking it from both sides. They're looking at, here's what the prosecution is asking for us to consider, to think about. Here's what Diddy's team is asking us to consider and think about. And here's everything that each side is saying we don't want you to consider or think about, right? But then at the same time, right, you have Diddy's team who gets up there, and Nicole Westmoreland broke down in tears. His attorney, Nicole Westmoreland, broke down in tears. And people are always like, why you refer to her as the Black woman attorney? And here I'm going to do so because I feel like it's important to do so, right? And I'll explain why. So Nicole Westmoreland she's a Black woman attorney from Atlanta. It's also been, a thing and a conversation about the fact that she is a sexual violent or sexual assault survivor, right? She broke down in tears talking about what Diddy means to this family, to the Black community, the strides that he's made as like the first Black man to do several different things, and just how he's used all of his power, all of his fame to help people. He is
Now let's stop there. You know, like I said, regardless of how people feel, and I said this before when this case first started, y'all can go back to our old streams, Diddy, Jay-Z, and the Dark Side of Fame. Go on my page and look up those streams. I was telling y'all, there's something to be said about us watching the fall of prominent black men in real time. This has been going on for the last few years. And like I said, when it comes to our male counterparts of a lighter complexion, for some odd reason, they're not held to the same standards. You might hear something about it in the press, it's gone. Perfect example. It was this white guy. He was sexually assaulting men. I forget where he's from. I think he was the head of some company. I don't want to say I don't know if it was Abercrombie and Fitch. I don't know. This is allegedly. Like I said, if I don't know, my bad. I don't, you know, I'm monetized now, so they'll sue a ninja. I don't know what it was, but yeah, he was assaulting supposedly the ninja, whoever it was, some blonde man, white man, blonde hair. He was assaulting boys, and he got time. This ninja got like a good amount of years. He got some time. You don't hear about it no more. But like I said, the problem with the black community, and I think the mistakes we made, and I'm saying the community, the whole diaspora, shout out to the FBAs and all that kind of bullshit or whatever. Shout out to the American black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trolling. But yeah, I think the mistake we made as a diaspora, one, we're not monolithic in our thinking. Two, the problem is we allowed other communities to look at our community and shine a light on our community, and we allow them to do so proudly, right? Whereas other communities protect their own. And like I said, guys, I'm not trying to cause a divide. I'm just aware of what's going on. So for example, shout out to the Mexican people. I'm pretty sure, you know, Mexican people like to say the N-word, right? I'm using them as an example, but all you ninjas say the N-word. Let's just start there. But follow me, guys. So Mexican people like to say the N-word. But if I was to go to a Mexican person and be like, what's up, SA? Them ninjas would look at me like this, ninja.
What the hell?
That's how they look at me, bro.
Oh my God.
So like I said, take that same idea and extrapolate off of it. All the other communities and groups of people protect their own, whereas the black community likes to throw their own, cast their own out to the wolves. And when shit happened to them, yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get. Now, I'm not saying to protect an abuser. I'm saying we should have found a way. And like I said, this is what I'm saying goes back hundreds of years. We should have found a way to create our own discipline within our community, as such as other communities do, right? So, you know, in Mexico, if you do some shit you ain't supposed to do, and this is a very poor example, but I'm gonna use this example. If you do some crazy shit, you know, they're gonna beat you to death. Okay, I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, they're gonna beat you to death in front of the village for everybody to see. So I'm not saying that extreme, but I'm saying like we should have found a way to create discipline within our own communities, so that way people wouldn't throw each other under the bus and shit like that. Anyways, besides the point, I'm just rambling, but that's how I feel personally. And I, you know, you could correct me if I'm wrong. We can disagree to agree. Here we go.
Not a person that has just disregarded people in the way the prosecution wants you to believe. But here's the thing. Before Westmoreland got up there and began to cry, and I think, you know, and the reason why I brought up the fact that she's a black woman on the team doing so is because none of the white attorneys could have did that. For me, in my opinion, I understood why she was doing it, but I felt like after the hours of, you know, it was so clear, in my opinion, that the judge, he doesn't believe that Diddy is as remorseful as he should be. The judge specifically pointed out, because Diddy was asking, you know, for sentencing to be taken easy on him because he has been remorseful to the court. He's asking several different things, but that was one of them, right? I'll get more into that later. But the judge is like, look, you've been remorseful and you've apologized for things. You haven't even, and you've admitted to things, yes, but you have yet to even admit to what you were actually convicted of, which was the prostitution charges. Nor have you apologized for that.
And that's the fine line right there, because at the end of the day, he wasn't actually prostituting. No disrespect to Cassie, but he wasn't actually prostituting Cassie. Like, he didn't actually make, I could be wrong, minus the fact that he threatened to leak the tapes, he didn't actually make bread. Like, he didn't make money off of the videos. As far as I know, if they know otherwise, okay. Now, he used those videos to control and shit like that, whatever the case may have you. But the way it works, and even then, him recording the videos, if they have some kind of agreement, ultimately, it becomes corn. It becomes corn, not to say it like that, but yeah, it becomes corn. It becomes corn. But yeah, so as far as I know, he ain't make bread off the videos, or if they probably would have leaked. What else? Yeah, so he wasn't per se prostituting, prostituting Cassie. He was buying prostitutes, my bad, YouTube, please don't ban me. He was buying prostitutes for him and Cassie. And like I said, that's a different kind of lifestyle. Rich ninja-ish, that's a different life. You feel me? But yeah, so I don't really know if he was prostituting Cassie, and then they was traveling because he could travel as a billionaire. He just traveled. And I'm not saying it to justify him, right? I'm just saying that's what they said. That's what they said in the deliberations and stuff. Here we go.
So no, I'm not gonna say, oh my God, he's so remorseful to the court. I want to make sure we take this light. No. And while the judge is talking about what they're able to use, and you know, these attorneys are like, I mean, Brian Still's head was in his hands, his face was in his hands, like in disbelief almost. You had two of Diddy's attorneys stand up, Shapiro and Teeny Garrigo stand up and talk about how being able to use anything he was acquitted of, how harshly that's going to impact his sentencing.
Yep, and the reason why is because it's not to say it's unfair, because life is unfair, but it becomes unfair because he was acquitted of the charges. You can't even bring up those charges. He already got found not guilty, but besides the point.
The judge used the word, it would be non-consequential because you can only use it when having conversation around how we arrived to the actual things he was charged with, right?
Ooh, that's a loophole. Goddamn. That is a loophole. It would be non-consequential, as in it wouldn't be factored in because you're using it in conversation. You're not using it as, oh, he's guilty. You're using it as, we did it in logic class, like basically as the, what is it, if then statement. You're using it as how you got to the conclusion. If this happened, so because this happened, then this happened, if that makes sense. So you're using it as, hey, we're using it in conversation to get us to how we arrived here at court today. Just because you were found not guilty doesn't mean we can't use it to get us to how we got to court today to follow the storyline, right? Because if we don't follow the storyline, it won't make sense how we got here, regardless of if you were found guilty or not guilty. We already know you're not guilty, but because this happened, this is why we're here today. Yeah, that's a loophole, bro. And that's why I tell y'all, bro, and I'm saying this, I don't know the law. I mean, I know of the law, but I don't know the law. Shout out to the attorneys and the lawyers. I told y'all before, y'all don't even know what's the difference between an attorney and a lawyer, okay? So look, you think you know the law. You don't actually know the law. Even me, I think I know the law. No, I don't know the law. What y'all hear in the English dictionary, there's a law, a legal dictionary. It is not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Everything else is completely different. The jargon, the words, completely different. Here we go.
Which honestly, in my opinion, I'm like, there's no way that you only use it for certain things. And this is those things that you're talking about when it comes to force, coercion, the beating of the women, that all speaks to character. It's hard to not consider that when you're making a determination on sentencing. And Teeny Garrigo's made a good point. She said, hey, I just want to put on record, you said the word non-consequential. Can we please discuss, like, yes, it is. And the judge corrected himself. He said, you know, my bad if that's the word I use, but I want to be specific when I say, you know, here is how I imply for for us as the court to be able to use anything he was acquitted of in sentencing. And the way that I am thinking about this and the way that it should be set up based on previous case law is not when it comes to the conversation of sentencing guidelines, but solely to understand how we arrived here. And the reason
Hey, I'm happy because look, guys, you see this video is long. I didn't watch this video. I'm happy that I'm able to break this down because a lot of y'all would think that I'm just a dummy. You know, I'm a black ninja playing on the internet. Like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But it's funny because Lauren's repeating what I just said. So shout out to Lauren. Yeah. I know y'all would think I'm making this up. No, I'm not the dumbest ninja out here in these streets. I'm pretty, you know, I got a big brain, okay? Hit the like button, answer the poll. Here we go.
Why I keep saying that is because the judge is arguing and the court is believing that in order for Diddy to be convicted of prostitution charges, he had to be able to coerce the women. He had to be able to put fear in the women.
Man, like I said, we ain't gonna beat a dead horse, no pun intended, but yeah, man, should that ninja have walked free? I feel like they set that ninja up, Once she said the non-consequential part, bro, I was like, oh shit, that's some fucked up shit. And that's, excuse my French, but that's what happened, bro. That's why I tell you, bro, if you look like me, stay out of jail, stay out of prison, stay away from the court system. The court system is not your friend. When you're judged by a jury of your peers, I'm always going to ask you this. You know, let's say you come into some money. If you're judged by a jury of your peers, and shout out to my white brothers and sisters and everybody else, right? Are your jury of peers going to look like you? That's what you got to ask yourself. Don't put yourself in a position where you got to deal with that. Like I said, I could pull up more information. You already know Diddy was found guilty. Let us know what you think in the comment section. He got 4 years and 2 months. I think he'll get out earlier for good behavior. Maybe they'll get the appeal going, who knows. But just like Tory Lanez, and shout out to the Umbrellas, they finna make that ninja sit, okay? They gonna make that ninja sit to send a message, and it's sending a message to all the men. Hey man, you'll never have that much power in today's society. So yeah, this gonna change the way dating works. And when it comes to ninjas with money, hopefully you ninjas with money start moving smarter and don't be trying to put a girl on your program and all that kind of shit. That shit is dead, bro. I told y'all, look, gentlemen, I've said this before. Shout out to the ladies. Women belong to the game, ninja. You know what the game is? Do y'all want to know what the game is? Hey, man, I shouldn't even give out this information. Y'all got to donate, bro. I'm giving y'all free game. The game is whatever government of whatever country they are living in. That's it for today's show, people. Okay? These girls is not yours. These girls belong to the government, ninja. They don't belong to you, ninja. Ninja, even if you marry a woman, that woman belongs to the government of the country she live in, my ninja. At least in the case of the American society, the Western civilization and shit like that. Past that, let us know what you think in the comment section, man. Shout out to everybody effing with me. Shout out to everybody that's been effing with me since day 1. Shout out to everybody that's been effing with me since day 2. Shout out to everybody that's been effing with me since today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody that got us monetized on YouTube. Now we got the AdSense going, so y'all is going to see ads. I'm sorry. I got to get to this paper. It's the only way I make the show better. Hit the like button, hit the hype button, donate if you appreciate what I'm doing. Let me know how I could be better. Constructive criticism only. If you don't like my content, hit the block button, ninja. Won't want you here. Shout out to the core. If you want to be part of the core, sign up for our memberships. I'm going to start posting exclusive content there. Shout out to the rest of the platforms. I'm probably going to be on my gaming page, Blac Adam Gaming. Y'all go follow that page. I might do a gaming stream tonight. I might pop shit on Call of Duty. I got to go get an HDMI splitter. I'm about to go do that right now. That's why we're ending earlier, else I'll still be on here. Past that, hey man, the clothes. We coming out with them clothes. Man, hey, bro, we putting in that work, bro. I used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this, ninja. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then even the membership's gonna get exclusive content. One of the exclusive drops I'm gonna start giving y'all is some of my music. I got music in the vault and I got new music on the way. I was like, damn, should I drop it? I'll let y'all hear some of my old shit. And then, like I said, I'm gonna give y'all some new shit, or y'all gonna get the new shit first before the rest of the people. Even then, the extra bread that we get from here, we're gonna use it to put back into my career. Y'all gonna start seeing videos and shit. Y'all got a lot planned, guys. I'm excited. I'm excited. Shout out to them ninjas that's beefing with me. Shout out to the gang bangers, the Suwoos, the Bloods, the Cousins, and all that. Ninja, please don't. I got a lot going for myself, ninja. I'm sorry if you got offended by what I said. I love you. It's all love. Like Diddy said, I love it all, man. No pun intended. Anyways, we out of here, man. I'm back in here tomorrow. Maybe because I'm not really supposed to come in here anymore on the weekends. I'm supposed to focus on my other content. So maybe I'll be in here. Maybe I won't. Past that, y'all just gotta tune in. Y'all turn on y'all notifications, man. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, man. Deuces.